My dear friends, tonight we are gathered here not merely to discuss an abstract psychological concept or to navigate some obscure intellectual theory, but rather to step boldly into a profound mystery, one that encompasses the essence of our human experience. This mystery is what I've come to call synchronicity, a term perhaps familiar to some of you, yet deeply enigmatic in its core nature. It is a phenomenon that opens our eyes to the hidden patterns interwoven throughout the fabric of our lives, beckoning us toward a deeper understanding of reality itself. When we speak of synchronicity, we speak not of mere coincidences, those trivialities and happenstances we dismissively call luck or chance, but of meaningful correspondences that stir the depths of our soul. These occurrences resonate profoundly, often leaving us speechless, trembling with the recognition that our inner worlds and the outer reality are mysteriously and beautifully intertwined. Synchronicity, my dear friends, defies our comfortable definitions. It reaches beyond the rationalistic, linear confines of cause and effect, and it plunges us into the vast, limitless ocean of the unconscious. I invite you tonight to suspend your skepticism just momentarily. Let your intuition, that subtle voice we often silence in the cacophony of modern life, rise to meet the surface. Feel the openness, the receptivity that allows us to perceive the subtle harmonies that surround us. Harmonies so delicate that the slightest doubt can cause them to vanish like smoke in the wind. Consider a moment in your life when the veil between your inner psyche and outer events appeared to thin. When the external world answered your inner question, mirroring it back to you with stunning clarity. Perhaps it was a conversation overheard precisely when you needed guidance, a book that fell open to the exact page containing your unspoken dilemma, or an encounter so perfectly timed that you were left with the unmistakable feeling of divine orchestration. In such moments, our soul whispers softly, yet undeniably, that life is more intricate and profound than we have allowed ourselves to imagine. You see, synchronicity challenges us to embrace paradox, inviting us to reconcile the logical and the mystical. It compels us to acknowledge that the cosmos is not merely mechanical or random, but deeply symbolic, filled with meaning, yearning to be deciphered by the attentive heart. The great philosophers of ancient Greece spoke of anima mundi, the soul of the world, an invisible thread that connects everything in existence. Synchronicity, dear friends, is precisely this, the manifestation of the anima mundi in tangible experiences, urging us toward a revelation of wholeness. Allow me to illustrate with a personal anecdote from my clinical practice, one which perhaps some of you may have encountered before in my writings, yet remains endlessly instructive. A patient once sat across from me, deeply rational and skeptical. Mired in the labyrinths of her analytical mind, she spoke dismissively of dreams and symbols, resisting any suggestion that life could harbor deeper significance than that which could be quantified or measured. One day, as she recounted a particularly vivid dream involving a golden scarab beetle, an ancient Egyptian symbol of rebirth, I heard a gentle tapping at my window. Turning around, I was astonished to see an insect tapping insistently on the glass. Opening the window, I caught the insect, and in my palm rested a beetle, remarkably similar in appearance to the golden scarab she had described from her dream. With eyes wide, she stared, rendered speechless by the impossibility and yet undeniable reality of what had just transpired. The beetle, against all logic, had appeared precisely at the moment her dream called forth, the symbol of transformation. This, dear friends, is synchronicity in its purest form. It is a moment when our inner world, rich in symbolism, dreams, and unconscious impulses, collides wondrously with external reality, shattering our narrow understanding of causality and logic. Such an experience is not merely intriguing, it is profoundly transformative, challenging the skeptic within us and awakening a deeper awareness of interconnectedness. The patient could no longer dismiss dreams as idle fantasies or psychological noise, for she had encountered undeniably the resonance between the symbolic and the real. The universe speaks to us continuously through these symbolic languages we must learn to interpret if we wish to live deeply and authentically. Consider your own dreams, the seemingly chaotic, nonsensical narratives that fill your nights. These too are the whispers of your soul, coded messages from your unconscious, guiding you toward greater understanding and wholeness. Synchronicity teaches us that dreams are not merely the mind's random processes, but meaningful messages woven intricately into the greater tapestry of reality. To understand this further, we must venture deeper into the notion of the collective unconscious. This collective psyche, my friends, is the reservoir of universal symbols and archetypes, primordial images that reside within each of us, transcending personal experience. It is the archetypal images stored within the collective unconscious that emerge through synchronicities, revealing the eternal motifs that have guided humanity since the dawn of time. Archetypes like the shadow, the anima and animus, the self, the wise old man, and the divine child populate this collective unconscious, shaping our perceptions, behaviors, and deepest longings. Synchronicity, therefore, is the external reflection of these archetypes, appearing precisely at moments of psychological significance. These symbolic events point us toward hidden truths within ourselves. Truths often obscured by our conscious minds, yet essential to our psychological and spiritual development. Consider the archetype of the shadow, those aspects of ourselves we repress or deny, traits we deem unacceptable or shameful. Synchronicity frequently emerges in moments when the shadow seeks integration, appearing in external symbols that mirror our internal conflicts. A chance encounter with someone embodying traits we secretly despise or fear in ourselves. A repeated theme emerging in dreams and waking life. A pattern of frustration and failure that we cannot rationally explain. These are manifestations of the shadow seeking recognition and integration. By embracing synchronicity, we embark upon the profound task of shadow work. We recognize and integrate the repressed parts of ourselves, transforming the shadow from an unconscious adversary into a source of strength and creativity. Only by acknowledging the darker aspects of our being, illuminated through synchronistic experiences, can we begin the journey toward wholeness. Indeed, the ultimate goal of acknowledging and interpreting synchronicities is not merely intellectual or philosophical, it is fundamentally transformative. Synchronicity calls us toward individuation, the lifelong journey toward becoming our truest, most integrated selves. It guides us in recognizing and reconciling our internal contradictions, harmonizing the various fragments of our psyche into a unified whole. Individuation, my friends, is the sacred purpose of human life. And synchronicity provides signposts along this journey, illuminating the path when we might otherwise be lost. Tonight, as we delve deeper into the mystery of synchronicity, let us remain open to its messages, attentive to the subtle signs woven throughout our existence. Let us not dismiss these experiences as mere happenstance, but embrace them as profound revelations from the soul of the world, guiding us ever closer to our authentic selves. Continuing our exploration, let us consider the role of synchronicity in revealing another profound archetype, the anima and animus. These archetypes represent the feminine and masculine aspects within each individual, regardless of one's gender. They are projections of our inner desires and unmet needs, often manifesting through synchronicities that highlight our unconscious search for wholeness. When a synchronicity occurs related to a romantic interest or an intense attraction, it is not merely chance or superficial infatuation. Rather, it is often an external reflection of our inner yearning for balance, unity, and completeness. Imagine, for instance, a scenario where you repeatedly encounter someone who deeply stirs your emotions and captivates your imagination. Each meeting, seemingly random, becomes more charged and significant than the last. This, dear friends, is the animus or anima calling from within, manifesting outwardly to guide you toward integrating these neglected aspects of your psyche. It is an invitation to explore your deeper needs, to reclaim those parts of yourself you have overlooked or disowned. To fully appreciate the depths of synchronicity, one must also recognize its ties to the archetype of the self. The self, as I have often emphasized, represents the totality of the psyche, the ultimate unity of consciousness and unconsciousness. Synchronicity serves as a powerful catalyst towards self-realization, bridging the divide between our inner and outer worlds. Each synchronistic event is a stepping stone toward discovering and embracing this profound wholeness. Let me share with you another illustrative story, one that underscores the intimate connection between synchronicity and the self. A man deeply engrossed in existential turmoil found himself repeatedly encountering the image of a spiral on book covers, artwork, nature, even dreams. Initially dismissing these occurrences, he eventually recognized their symbolic significance. The spiral, an ancient symbol of growth, evolution, and the journey inward mirrored his inner quest for meaning. Through acknowledging this synchronicity, he embraced the journey towards self-discovery and transformation. Recognizing the spiral as an external expression of his internal struggle for completeness, such experiences are reminders that our individual journeys are profoundly interconnected with universal patterns and symbols, eternally guiding us towards psychological and spiritual maturity. Synchronicity, therefore, acts as a mirror reflecting our innermost truths, pushing us gently yet persistently toward greater self-awareness and integration. Consider now the mystical traditions of various cultures and their inherent understanding of synchronicity. Indigenous peoples have long recognized that life is imbued with symbolic significance, where every event, animal, or natural phenomenon is perceived as carrying profound messages. Shamans and mystics across history have sought to interpret these signs, aware that reality is an interconnected web of meaning rather than a series of isolated events. Our modern scientific worldview, though powerful in many respects, often blinds us to this deeper wisdom. Yet, when synchronicity touches our lives, it reawakens our ancient memory of interconnectedness, urging us to transcend the narrow confines of rationalism and embrace a more holistic view of existence. We are reminded, dear friends, that the universe is not inert but alive, responsive, and profoundly meaningful. Indeed, synchronicity might also be seen as the language of the soul, whispering to us in the gentle voice of symbolism and metaphor. When we open ourselves to this language, we begin to perceive life as a continuous dialogue with our unconscious, a perpetual conversation filled with insights and revelations. Synchronicity invites us to listen deeply, to become attuned to the subtle messages that guide our inner and outer journeys. Let us now reflect on the nature of time itself. For synchronicity challenges our conventional understanding of temporality. Typically, we perceive time as linear, a steady progression from past through present to future. However, synchronicity defies this linear perception, suggesting instead a more complex, interconnected, and multidimensional reality. In synchronistic experiences, past, present, and future intersect in meaningful ways, revealing that our understanding of time may be far more limited than we realize. This perspective aligns closely with the insights of quantum physics, where the observer and the observed are inseparably connected, and reality itself seems fluid and contingent. Synchronicity, in essence, points toward a quantum understanding of existence, reminding us that consciousness and matter, psyche and cosmos, are intricately interwoven. It is precisely this realization, my friends, that holds immense transformative potential. When we truly grasp that our inner states influence external reality, we become empowered creators rather than passive observers. Our thoughts, emotions, and unconscious patterns shape the fabric of our experience, and synchronicities serve as reminders of our profound interconnectedness with the cosmos. As we deepen our awareness of synchronicity, we begin to perceive existence as a unified, dynamic whole, where each event, however seemingly trivial, holds meaning and purpose. Life ceases to be a random, chaotic series of occurrences and becomes instead a symphony of symbols and messages guiding us toward greater self-understanding and fulfillment. Tonight, As we delve further into the mysteries of synchronicity, let us remain open to the profound truths that await our discovery. Let us embrace these subtle signs with humility and curiosity, recognizing that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, is continually guiding us toward our highest potential and deepest authenticity. As we journey even deeper into the heart of synchronicity, we must now confront an essential truth. Synchronicity is not merely a comforting or affirming experience. Often, it arrives bearing uncomfortable revelations, challenging our cherished illusions and forcing us to confront hidden aspects of ourselves. Indeed, the moments that most profoundly alter our perception of reality are seldom gentle. They arrive like lightning strikes, illuminating with brutal clarity the corners of our psyche long left in shadow. Let us pause to contemplate the nature of such encounters. These synchronistic events, while deeply meaningful, frequently unsettle us because they reflect truths we have systematically avoided. Imagine, if you will, finding yourself repeatedly confronted with a situation or symbol that evokes powerful feelings of anxiety, anger, or fear. Perhaps you continually meet individuals who betray you, or situations that disappoint you, patterns that repeat until they become impossible to ignore. Synchronicity, in such instances, acts as a merciless yet compassionate mirror, reflecting precisely those internal conflicts and unresolved emotions that demand our attention and healing. These uncomfortable synchronicities illuminate the shadow, a critical component of our psyche. The shadow, as we discussed earlier, contains all the repressed and denied aspects of our personality traits and feelings we reject as unacceptable. Yet, the shadow is not merely a repository of darkness. It is also a profound source of untapped creativity, vitality, and insight. Only by bravely confronting these shadow aspects can we access their transformative power. Let me share with you another story, one that vividly illustrates this process. A woman once found herself repeatedly encountering the image of fire in dreams, artwork, conversations, and even in unsettling accidents involving flames. Initially interpreting these incidents as mere accidents or coincidences, she gradually recognized their deeper meaning. Fire, symbolizing destruction but also purification and transformation, was mirroring her internal turmoil, her suppressed anger and passion. Embracing this fiery symbolism compelled her to confront the destructive emotions within herself, ultimately leading to profound emotional liberation and spiritual renewal. Such experiences teach us that synchronicity is far from passive or benign. It demands active engagement and courageous self-reflection. It is a call to action, inviting us to acknowledge and integrate the shadowy dimensions of our being. Only by willingly entering into dialogue with these shadow aspects can we move toward true individuation, becoming whole and integrated individuals. At the core of synchronicity lies the principle of meaningful coincidence, but also the notion of meaningful suffering. We must recognize that growth and transformation seldom occur in comfort. Synchronicity frequently disrupts our equilibrium precisely because disruption is necessary for deep psychological change. It prompts us to question, reassess, and, if necessary, dismantle those internal structures that no longer serve our authentic self. In this context, let us consider the significance of crises, those pivotal moments when synchronicity emerges most powerfully. Crises force us out of our complacency, shattering the false security of our habitual patterns. It is precisely during these turbulent times that synchronicities multiply, reflecting our inner turmoil and guiding us toward resolution. A loss, an illness, a profound disappointment, such experiences, painful, though they may be, often contain hidden blessings, encoded messages urging us toward greater self-awareness and evolution. Thus, synchronicity also serves as a reminder of life's inherent paradoxes. Reality itself, as synchronicities illustrate, is not neatly ordered or logically consistent. Instead, it embraces contradiction, ambiguity, and mystery. To fully grasp the transformative potential of synchronicity, we must cultivate a tolerance for uncertainty and paradox, embracing the unknown with openness and curiosity rather than fear. Consider also the archetypal figure of the trickster, an entity prevalent in myths and folklore worldwide. The trickster embodies paradox, disruption, and unpredictability. This archetype frequently appears through synchronistic events, unsettling our expectations and revealing the folly of our rigid assumptions. By challenging our preconceived notions, the trickster invites us into a space of creative ambiguity, where new insights and possibilities emerge. This dynamic interplay between order and chaos, clarity and confusion, is essential to the workings of synchronicity. Synchronicity operates precisely at the boundary between conscious and unconscious, rational and irrational, known and unknown. It is in this liminal space that true growth occurs, as we are forced to relinquish control and surrender to a deeper wisdom at work within and around us. In acknowledging synchronicity, we also acknowledge our fundamental interconnectedness, not only with other human beings, but with the natural world and the cosmos itself. Synchronicity dissolves the illusion of separateness, revealing instead a profound unity underlying all existence. Each synchronistic event, however seemingly trivial, is a thread in the vast tapestry of life, woven by forces far beyond our limited comprehension. Let us therefore approach synchronicity not merely as a psychological curiosity, but as a profound spiritual practice. Synchronicity invites us into a sacred relationship with reality, one characterized by humility and reverence. When we recognize and honor the mysterious connections binding us to the greater whole, we enter a state of grace, guided gently toward our highest potential. As we continue this exploration tonight, let us hold this awareness close, allowing it to illuminate our path forward. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, is continuously communicating through synchronicities. If only we have the courage and humility to listen deeply, to embrace fully, and to follow wherever these sacred messages may lead. Finally, as we reach the culmination of this exploration into the profound mystery of synchronicity. We must acknowledge the transformative journey it invites us upon. It is not enough merely to observe and interpret synchronistic events. We must also integrate their messages deeply into our lives, letting them reshape our understanding, our beliefs, and ultimately our identities. In doing so, we honor the profound interconnectedness of existence, recognizing that our individual journeys are intimately entwined with the collective journey of humanity. Synchronicities, those whispers from the universe, remind us that each of us carries within our hearts not only personal aspirations and fears, but also the archetypal stories and patterns that have shaped human consciousness across the ages. To live attuned to synchronicity is, therefore, to live in constant dialogue with the greater cosmic dance. It means embracing life as a meaningful narrative rather than a series of disconnected events. Every meeting, every conflict, every triumph, and every loss becomes charged with potential significance. Our lives, seen through this lens, are imbued with purpose, direction, and sacred mystery. Consider for a moment the concept of destiny, not as a predetermined script imposed upon us from outside, but as a creative and dynamic interplay between our inner states and outer circumstances. Synchronicity reveals this dynamic clearly, suggesting that our deepest desires, fears, and beliefs powerfully shape our external reality. When we fully embrace this understanding, we begin to engage life actively and consciously, recognizing our role as co-creators in the unfolding of our own destinies. Synchronicity is, in essence, a call to responsibility, a profound reminder that we must attend consciously to our inner world. The psyche, with its vast and often mysterious dimensions, is not passive or inert. It is active, responsive, and deeply intelligent, continually communicating through symbols and meaningful coincidences. To honor this communication, we must nurture self-awareness, cultivate intuition, and remain open to the subtle, often ambiguous messages from within and without. Let us remember also that synchronicity connects us not only to the universal and archetypal, but also deeply and intimately to each other. The synchronistic events that weave our paths together remind us of our shared humanity, our common struggles and dreams. We are not solitary travelers. We journey together, our lives intricately linked through shared meanings and collective symbols. When we embrace synchronicity, we acknowledge and strengthen these bonds, nurturing compassion, empathy, and mutual understanding. Indeed, it is through such interconnectedness that true transformation occurs not merely on a personal scale, but collectively at the level of communities and societies. Synchronicity invites us to envision a world in which meaning and interconnectedness are consciously honored, where human relationships are nurtured by an awareness of our profound interdependence. Imagine, if you will, a society deeply attuned to synchronicity, one that values inner wisdom and symbolic communication as highly as external achievement and material success. Such a society would prioritize emotional and spiritual health, recognizing the importance of dreams, intuition, and symbolic understanding. In guiding collective action, conflicts and crises would be viewed not as mere problems to be solved through brute force or rigid logic, but as opportunities for deeper reflection, growth, and transformation. It is my belief, dear friends, that synchronicity holds profound implications, not only for personal psychology, but also for the collective evolution of human consciousness. As we awaken individually to the meaningful connections woven throughout existence, we contribute collectively to a broader awakening, a global realization of unity, harmony, and purpose. Let us therefore commit ourselves tonight to this deeper vision, embracing synchronicity, not merely as an intellectual curiosity, but as a profound spiritual practice, a guiding principle for living authentically and consciously. In every synchronistic event, let us see not merely chance or coincidence, but sacred guidance, an invitation to deeper self-awareness and a call to collective transformation. As you leave here tonight, carry this awareness with you into your daily lives. Be attentive, receptive, and courageous. Listen deeply to the subtle messages encoded in the fabric of your experiences. Trust in the wisdom of your psyche and honor the synchronicities that arise as precious opportunities for growth, healing, and integration. In doing so, you will come to recognize that reality itself is profoundly alive, responsive, and meaningful, forever guiding you toward greater wholeness and authenticity. Synchronicity is indeed the universe's sacred language, continually communicating the essential truths your soul longs to hear. May you have the courage and humility to listen deeply, to trust wholeheartedly, and to journey bravely towards the fulfillment of your highest potential. And so, dear friends, let us move forward with reverence and gratitude, embracing the mysterious and beautiful journey of synchronicity, forever open to the profound truth it has to teach us